that what they believe is. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tactical Pineapple Rides, where today we don't really have a lot to talk about. I mean, obviously, we always have a lot to talk about as far as news, this, that, the other motherfucker, and the thing. But hey, before we get into it, I want to let everybody know, if you're watching this, head on down to that comment section, say what's up, let me know how it's going, let me know what the things sound like, and let's get into it. Like I said, guys, welcome back. Just out here cruising around, just heading from work back to home. Currently doing some work from home stuff. Had to head into the office, do a little testing on some stuff. If you guys aren't familiar, I'm a product development engineer, so I get to have fun, design some weird things that nobody wants, and usually fail a lot. So, it's definitely interesting getting into that. One thing that I do want to talk about today is kind of accidents. And last week on the live stream, yeah, we did get into the whole Kentucky Ballistics, the explosion thing last week during the live stream. It was definitely something that we had a little bit of discrepancies depending on the individuals about. Certain people felt like, hey, that was the rifle's fault. Certain people felt like, hey, it was the ammo's fault. Since then, there's been a little bit more information, a little bit more people covering some of the stuff. Taborosaurus Rex, he did have a pretty good take on the whole incident. It does make sense when thinking about it. But technically, still, are we talking about, is it the rifle? Is it the ammo? What was it? Was it user error? So, with a lot of things now, people tend to believe that it may have been user error more than not. So I don't know if it's Scott's to blame for it or if it's the round itself to blame for it. And I'm not really here to put my decision out there and make the claim, but I do kind of want to discuss about how people get it into their mind that what they believe is 100% the truth, and no matter what, their mind cannot be changed. During the live stream, we did have quite a few individuals who had their own opinion about really what was to blame. And no matter what, it was like, hey, we're not going to use this rifle anymore. We're not going to do this or that, and we're blaming the engineering of the company behind it without really knowing all the details. And that in and of itself is kind of a toxic thing that we really need to kind of stop as people. Especially in this firearms industry, we're so quick to jump to conclusions. This happens with the media as well. Everybody does it. We take our past experiences, look at the situation, and say, based on what I know, this is what I believe. However, too many individuals nowadays are unwilling to waver in their belief structures. They don't want to admit that they may not know the truth, that they may not be correct in the situation later on. I'm coming out here saying, look, I've looked at the engineering, I've looked at the structure. Should it have handled the pressures? Maybe, maybe not. We don't really know without true measurement what the pressures were on the muzzle. So we can sit here and say, hey, the rifle should be tested for double charge pressure. Whether it received double charge pressure or not, we don't know. It's kind of an assumption. So without having the actual measurement, we can't make that judgment. But based on the information that we do know, it's very likely that it was a combination of rifle and ammo. I'm not willing to say that it's user error. 100%, because you know when you do something 100 times and it doesn't fail, user tends to believe that they're okay. That doesn't mean it's right. I'm just saying that that's how things kind of are put together in a person's mind. So if an individual, you know, runs down the same street 30 times and never gets robbed, they tend to believe that, they're a little more safe than if they were going someplace else, right? Um, if you go down another road 15 times and get robbed twice, you're going to tend to want to stay away from that road, right? Kind of in one of those areas right now. But individuals, that's how we make our, that's how we cut our teeth on shit. I mean, we make decisions based on the knowledge that we have from our past experiences. Now, Scott had shot several $100 worth of rounds through it, and I say that because he's shot several slap rounds at about $100 a round through that rifle. Um, that being said, he had never had a failure, or what he presumed to be a failure. Um, some individuals had talked about the accuracy of the rounds being all over the place, and that kind of indicates that there was a hang up, and it was a combination of the round in the rifle with the muzzle brake and all that. Also going to run some errands here today, so there's going to be a little bit of a break, a little bit of time in between here. Go ahead. Come on. People. It's like grandma's pissing at me or something, huh? What's he doing with a camera on his face? So back to talking about the Kentucky Ballistics thing, and like, it's more or less just people need to be willing to change their opinions, especially when more facts are presented. So I don't think anybody going into the conversations last week was really aware of the fact that sabot rounds should not be run through a weapon with a muzzle brake, especially ones with polymer sabots. Um, Probably a lot of individuals have been doing it. A lot of individuals have been getting lucky. Thankfully, out of everybody, looks like I'm going to get rained on. That's unfortunate. But hey, whatever. It's the joys of being on a bike. the, the joys of catastrophic failure is that you never know when it's going to happen. You never know who it's going to happen to. And at the end of the day, we can all just be thankful that it happened to somebody who had the understanding, the knowledge, and the foresight to be able to basically give themselves the best possible chance of survival. Um, I'm glad, I hate to say that I'm glad it happened to Scott from Kentucky Ballistics, but of all the individuals with his background, his knowledge, his father's background as well, I don't think enough people are giving credit to his father. He literally witnessed something that could have killed his son, um, and without hesitation sprang into action. Literally, from what it sounds like, is he originally plugged the hole in Scott's neck and then told Scott to take over because he needed to drive. So kudos to Scott's dad. I think everybody's giving Scott a lot of credit, which he does deserve. Dude is a fucking animal. But the fact of the matter is that even though Scott's quick thinking and action did help keep him alive, it was 100% Scott's father that initiated that action, initiated that life-saving maneuver. And for that, I would like to say thank you to Scott's father. who's also going above and beyond from what it looks like, and he is doing some studio work for Scott, seeing as though Scott can't do it. So the YouTube channel will continue. Now, I do know that there was a update as far as the channel and Scott's health that was released on YouTube this morning. I have not had a chance to watch that yet, so maybe there's more details even yet. But I did just want to kind of jump out here while I had a halfway decent weather, able to drive out this afternoon, have this little conversation, kind of what changing your mind, and keeping yourself open. I think we oftentimes close our minds to the things that we don't want to change or whatever. I think that we oftentimes are to blame for our own demise when it comes to our stubbornness. Some of us worse than others. We can all blame our heritage, this, that, the other motherfucker, or the thing. But the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter where you come from, what your blood is. You will inevitably dig yourself in on a topic at one time or another, and people will end up proving you wrong in the end, and you just look like an ass because you over defended yourself. So be open, be honest with yourself, and at the end of the day, like I said, just be willing to change your mind. I hate to say it, but Steven Crowder's Change My Mind segment is less about changing people's minds and more about telling people, hey, like, let's sit down, discuss the facts, and then after we have all the facts presented to us that are currently available by both sides of the argument, let's make a decision. Too many people don't do that now, and that's problematic. Really, it is. So, really wish that the weather would warm up a little bit more. Maybe the wind died down a little bit. Get out more often here. Really enjoy this little bit of time, that I have spending it, talking to you guys, and it's not very enjoyable when it's 40 fucking degrees out. So, luckily for me today, we're definitely air temp 52 degrees. It's a little bit warmer than the last time we talked. So, I'm also not by the lake, and the wind seems to be down just a little bit. So, that's positive. Once the weather warms up a little bit and I can get out just a little bit more, hope to have a little bit more scenery to look at. Nothing really in the city. City isn't really fun to look at, and we have a lot of beautiful land around here, a lot of beautiful scenery that I'd like to get out and share with you guys. So right now, it's more or less just kind of cruising, taking different routes home or to work. Most of the time, none of these will be done on my way to work, just because I leave my house for work before the sun comes up, and unless you guys want to stare at a black screen for the majority of the time, it doesn't really pay. So, let's see if we can't get on this light here. Let me know too. It's been interesting doing some updates, changing this and that. I did tune the exhaust this week. Things should sound a little bit better. I know that test audio, you can hear the bike a little bit more, which is good. The wind is definitely always going to be a factor. Trying to figure that out, get that dialed in. I'm definitely doing this a little bit different than some of the other individuals who do these motovlogs, mostly because I like to use what I have. So, that being said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of my editing, if it's getting any better. I'm going to continue to try to do that. The editing is probably the toughest part for me. I think I figured out a couple tricks that'll help me, doing this dual camera thing. I do have I think I've had the audio synced up pretty good, because if you guys aren't aware, I do record the video with obviously the GoPro here on the face, as well as down here I've got the Galaxy S7 waterproof, free phone donated to me by a friend. Uh, Basically just a camera device. So, um, and then I'm actually recording the audio via a Bluetooth connection through what's called the Shockwave system, which is actually designed and integrated into my helmet. Now, the mic placement that they have designed into it is not great. It isn't ideal. Um, that's where my audio was very windy, wind noise sounding, um, as well as oddly muffled. So I'm thinking where I have the mic now is a good option. It's a decent place. You know, it's a little more protected from the wind. I'm obviously using dead cat, stuff like that. But gravel, man, this is what sucks about these roads. Like, I love where I'm at. I love the roads around me like this. Twists, turns, they're all fun. But man, the gravel is absolutely ridiculous, especially this time of the year, because construction all over the place. There's a couple horse farms down the road. They always bring in new gravel. Not to mention the ditches. So everything is gravel here. It's easy to see, but anyways, if you haven't done it already, head on down there, hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We'd like to have fun. Like I said, every Friday night, live on the YouTube channel. We'll try to do guests, this and that. Next week, Friday, we will not have a live stream. I may do a little bit of something somewhere, probably an Instagram live, something like that. I will be headed out to my first concert of 2021. If you are not already familiar with it and you're in the Wisconsin, Sturtevant, Racine, Janesville area, Struggle Jennings has a concert this coming Friday, the 14th of May. Tickets, I believe, are still available. You can go to strugglejennings.com/tour. Get your tickets. They're not expensive. It's great entertainment, great fun, and that's going to be at the Route 20 Outhouse in Sturtevant, Wisconsin. I think doors open at like 7 o'clock at night. I will be there. My wife will be there. We will be having fun together. Like I said, man, like, subscribe, do all those little doodaddy thingies, all the little bells and whistles and shit. We appreciate it. And until next time, take it easy, have fun, stay safe, and shiny side up.